YouTube/@TheNatureDC. Subscribe today.
To Studio Runners Radio at studiorunners.com.
Out to everybody out there listening. Just wanted to first chime in. Say hello to everybody out there. Washington has hired a offensive coordinator, David Blough. And so I know y'all didn't hear me before. The mic wasn't on. So David Blough was the guy. And so I'm going to give my thoughts on it. I know a lot of Redskin fans might not like what I got to say. I really don't care. But because I'm going to tell at least the truth, my truth. See, the thing is, here on the Nature Sports Podcast, we are here to bring you our opinions. That's why people are here. And that's why people are listening. That's why the names are where they are on the set. So what you will receive is our opinions. And so it's my responsibility to give you just that, my opinion. It won't be aided or abetted by anything outside of what I truly feel and my own expertise after watching years and years of Redskins football. So unlike how anyone else might feel, I'm going to feel my way, and I'm going to say it because that's why you're here. So with that being said, I want to dive into this hire, right? And before I dive into this hire, first, it's a couple things I want to do. I want to first, let me pull something up for you guys. This is what I tweeted here on the Nature Sports Podcast, because I had a feeling. I just had a feeling things were going to go in the direction which it ended up going. And so I tried to avoid this, right? And so let's get on here. And so I want to put up our Twitter page right now. And I want to put up our Twitter page right now here on the Nature Sports Podcast. And so for whatever reason, I can't pull it up right here. Okay, I'll go to the Instagram. For whatever reason, Twitter is acting crazy, so I'll go to Instagram. Okay. So I'll go to the Nature Sports Podcast on Instagram and show you guys what I posted on Instagram. Because I had a feeling. I had a very weird feeling that this was going to happen the way it happened. So I'm just waiting for the Instagram page to pull up right now, and I want to share this for you guys. I share this with you guys what my thoughts was prior to this, because this didn't even really have to go in the direction that it went, but for whatever reason it did. And so let me dive into this. Okay, that page is up. All right, I'm gonna get the share up for you guys. Okay. Because I mean, this is the way this is transpired has been interesting. I'm sorry if I'm long-winded right now. So I'll get this up. I should have had this already up ready for you guys, but don't worry about it. I'm gonna get it up so you guys can see what I shared. I really want to start the show off like that because it is rhymed to my reason. Trust me. It says here, let's share this page, get this up. Okay, boom. Okay, that's the Nature Sports Podcast. That is our YouTube. So you guys go ahead, type in, chime in, make sure you hit the subscribe button right there on that page right there so you can get all the Redskins news and all the Redskins notes. Okay, so that ain't what I wanted to share though. This is what I wanted to share right here. This is the Redskins Instagram, the Nature Sports Podcast Instagram that we have. And on this Instagram, I don't know if you guys can see it, but I'm going to read it out to you guys. It says, okay, since the Washington Commanders seem to be having trouble with this, let me, Roe, on behalf of myself, save Adam Peters some time. Because this isn't already, because why this isn't already done is beyond me. News flash. The guy who helped Deebo Samuel to record his record-breaking season is right here available. He's the guy who coordinated CJ Stroud's record-breaking season as well. Duh. Not to mention he used to work for Adam Peters. He was on the RG3 staff as well. So he's been here in Washington, coached here in Washington. That's where he got his start. And Bobby Slowick was really the easy choice. And it should have been the offensive coordinator here. I mean, I get it. David Blough, he was on your staff. You feel like he's done something similar, but no, he wasn't. He's never called a play. And I'm going to tell you why that's just strange to me for you to even choose this guy in this time and why it's just really an amateur move. But either way, I wanted to let you know that I saw this coming. And so that's why I tried to at least do what I could to try to duck the drama that's about to happen, because this is probably going to be really bad. I'm going to keep it real. But anyway, let's move on. Let me move on for a second. Move on for a second and just get you back, guys, back up on the page you're supposed to be on. Okay. First, let me put this up though, and I gotta be honest about this. I'm gonna put my grade up. I'm gonna tell you guys why that grade is what it is. Because I said I was going to start off with the grade. That's exactly what I'm going to do. Start off with the grade. So let's move right along. If I can find the grade here, get this thing posted. Okay.
You are listening to Studio Runners Radio at studiorunners.com.
All right. So for this one, that's the grade for me. F-, right? And I think you're doing a whole bunch of people a disservice here. So it's a reason why that's an F-. I think a lot of people are being set up in a negative way. I think this was a really amateur move by Adam Peters. I think the timing was terrible. He made this hire before the playoffs even started, before he got to interview any playoff coach. And I'm going to tell you why, again, give me a second. I'm going to tell you why this is just a terrible hire. I wanted to make sure I get that out the way, right? And so, first and foremost, this is a terrible hire because I don't know if Adam Peters and Dan Quinn understand this, but you can't have another double-digit loss season, right? You can't have another one. The Redskins fan base is not going for that. You're going to be fired. If this season starts off 0 and anything, 0 and 5, 4, 5, if it gets to 0 and 4, you're probably going to be fired. So, in a season where your leash is really short, right? And I'm not gonna say you're probably going to be fired because we don't know what the style of Josh Hurst, how he has, because he's never been in this scenario before. But you should be fired. I will say that. And I know the fan base is going to get real loud about your firing after week 4 if we start off like a 0-4. Okay. So in a season where you really don't have a long leash as a coach, at least from the fan base, you go and choose a 30-year-old play caller who's never called a play ever before to lead a team that at least Washington fans would like to see competing for a Super Bowl. That's a lot of pressure for a guy who's never called a play before in an NFL game. That's a little bit of a setup for him because it's so much that he has to learn, like just about getting your plays in on time, the way that you set up your language. I mean, it's just so much going on. And even if you're expanding on what Cliff Kingsbury was doing, it's still another person. Cliff Kingsbury is not in the building anymore. And so I just don't know that this was the right thing to do. I not just don't know. I know, for me at least, my opinion is this wasn't the right thing to do here. You're really setting that 30-year-old young man up for failure. He's going to be going up against coaches who are very experienced. And I get it. He used to play in the NFL, whatever you want to say. It's not the same. He's going to be, I mean, his offense is going to be going up against the likes of, some of the more experienced coaches in the NFL. Just even in this division. So, I mean, for a team that you want to compete for a Super Bowl, because understand this, if you're not competing for a Super Bowl, this fan base is going to have a problem with you. Because you can say, oh, we was ahead of the curve by getting to the NFC Championship, or we overachieved, or whatever you want to say. But you showed this city what you're capable of. And so that's what we expect. Whether they say it or not, this is what this fan base expects. So in a season where you're expected to compete for a Super Bowl, you go and get somebody who's never called a play before. Not to mention Jaden Daniels himself. Naturally, he has a target on his back. So you expect him to be protected by somebody who's never done the job before. I just think that's unfair. That's unfair to JD5. That's unfair to David Blough. That's even unfair to Dan Quinn. I don't know who made this hire. I don't know why. I just don't like it, any part of it. And again, to me, with Bobby Slowick on the table, I can't see this. You know, with what he runs, with Bobby Slowick, with what he runs, the 5 wide receiver, moving the pocket, the naked bootlegs. Oh man, some of that stuff JD5 would be great at. And so I just don't understand how, if you're Adam Peters, you go David Blough before all of these guys you have on the board. I'm just not, I don't think that was the right thing. I don't see it working out. And I do think that Adam Peters should be fired if this doesn't work out. This was, to me, screams self, what word I want to use? Self-praise, where he wants to make a move where they say, oh, this was such a great move. Adam Peters is such a great guy. It just screams of that. Or it screams of, we're going to do the same thing we've been doing, which garnered you a 4-12 record. Because whether you want to say it or not, you're hiring a guy who was on the staff that was 4-12. So something needed to change. But you're telling the fans basically, no, nothing needed to change. And so that's another thing that's a problem, because you can say it was the offense, it was the defense, it was this person. You can say what you want. Your record ended up, 5-12. Your record ended up being 5-12. right? And you got JD5 hurt 3 times. And so I just think that you should have just brought, I think Slowick was the guy. I think he was out there for the taking. I looked at his film. It is great what he was running down there. Both years, even in the game where they lost to Kansas City. Can't say it was the play calling was the problem. So I just think to pass Slowick up for Blough is just, I don't agree with it. And then the work that Slowick did with Deebo Samuel, I don't know. I think if you couldn't get Mike McDaniel, I think you should have went Bobby Slowick. And so to go David Blough over the New York Giants coach DeBall and some of the other guys that are still on the board, to not interview anybody is just insane to me. And so I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to put this up again. I can't. This is I gotta give it what it is. This was a horrible job in a season where you have a lot of pressure on you. And I'm sorry to say it to David Blough, you're the guy nobody wanted. To bring him in as the guy nobody wants, it's unfair to him, because it's a lot of Redskin fans who just wanted McDaniels. You know, it was a lot of Skins fans who also wanted the ball. And I know y'all might think that the fans don't matter, but in some ways they do, to be honest. Especially nowadays where the fans and players interact more than they ever have via social media. So, I mean, to bring in David Blough in a scenario like this is a horrible time, and it's a horrible job by Adam Peters. Another thing is, no offense, but somebody has to question some of the stuff Adam Peters has done, because a lot of it just hasn't worked out. It hasn't worked out. And to just never question anything of what he's doing. Joe Witt didn't work. So this hiring from within hasn't worked. Joe Witt did not work. He never called a play. And it looked like it when he had gotten to the game. It looked like he was a coordinator who never called plays. And I think you're going to have a similar situation with this guy. You know, there's a natural fear of the Redskins based on what we did, that NFC Championship run. People going to give him their best stuff. He's never called a play before. I mean, that's just a setup. It's a vicious setup. And so I just think you should, in my opinion, you should have chose someone who's done it before, who's proven they can do it. I think you should be more delicate with JD5. You're playing with his future. I think Adam Peters made this move. I don't know if it was in haste. I don't know who's making the calls here, but we really need to find that out, because some of this stuff is like, it's almost malpractice. This move was almost a malpractice move. It was that bad, in my opinion. Like, it's borderline malpractice. Last year, you went into the offseason with, I believe, the most money, top 3 in money for sure. And look at what you got out of that. You came off an NFC Championship season where you got to the NFC Championship, and then you came back the next offseason with the most money, and this is what you produced? I'm sorry. Somebody has to at some point question Adam Peters and if he's experienced enough to do this job. Because even making a move without interviewing anybody, like if Detroit wanted David Blough, go ahead, take him. But he's not somebody which you should have hired before, like that, before you interviewed anybody. If he didn't want to wait for the job or didn't want to wait for you to interview everybody and go through your process, that's on him. I don't look at Detroit, no offense to Detroit. I'm not trying to knock you guys when I say this, But I don't look at them as a model organization where you got to say, oh, because they wanted him, this guy must be great. No. They just wanted to talk to him. You didn't even know about a coordinator job. It wasn't even no thing where he was even going to get the job. Amateur move by what it looks like to be an amateur front office in the Redskins. They totally botched this offseason that just passed. And it looks like they're starting the same thing, starting in the same direction. The Connolly pick, you could say what you want, maybe at the end of the season, maybe he might turn out later to be better, but he wasn't really great in his first season. And so it's just this season was a disaster. And this off season isn't starting off much better. And so that's my thoughts as ETA Road. Let me get this back, get the board back up, and then get the YouTube back up on here. So that you guys can go. That's the Nature DC. Make sure y'all go hit that subscribe button. Everything we do is streamed right there. It's again, let's run the advertisement so you can hear it, right? You gotta put that at www.youtube.com/@ the Nature DC. And it's all one word, no spaces, no nothing. At the Nature DC. You have to put the at. You have to put the at. And so when you hear it, it's at the Nature DC. Let's run this again. I can't get it up. But you have to put at the Nature DC. For sure. But again, those are general thoughts on this hiring. It's not it. It's not it. It's not it. I don't see it working. I just think you setting him up for failure. If I'm him, I don't know that I take the job. Yeah, I'm like, y'all on a hot seat. I've never done this job before. I don't know that I want this type of pressure. I'm just being honest. I just think they should have went and got Bobby from down there in Miami. And I think later on we'll see this. At some point in time later on, y'all gonna see what I was saying about who they should have got and why this was never gonna work. This is a setup. This is a really bad hire. A really bad hire at a really bad time. And so, good luck. Good luck. Good luck. Good luck.
YouTube /@ the Nature DC. Subscribe today.